Hello, my name is Justin Stearns, and this is my virtual field experience presentation. So I'm going to talk about what I experienced in the virtual field experience videos. So I watched 5 different videos that were very, very different. The first one I'd like to talk about is one provided by the professor and the teacher that provided a whole brain learning, looked like a demonstration for students. And what he did is he gave them certain things to say, certain things to do, as he would say, give them certain cues. So what I watched over the hour is that although it was supposed to be a science class, they didn't teach anything. And his biggest thing that he was interested in was how much enthusiasm the students participated with. So pedagogy-wise, I had a hard time with that one because I think that there is a time and place for all types of different teaching styles. But for someone like me, I am more of a reflective learner, and I like to hear what the teacher has to say. I like to engage the material with activities and experiments and things of that nature. But I also need a little bit of time to think. So if you want me to respond immediately, that does not allow me any time to reflect. Now, if there's a certain cue and you want us to clap or something for entertainment, then I can get that. But just didn't really care for that approach. I'm sure that a lot of people disagree. The next class that I'd like to talk about was the science class that the lady had observation with, and I felt like it was a really balanced approach. She used some content area reading throughout the class. She used students' prior knowledge. They discussed what they had learned before. She discussed how does a steel ship float was the overall question that they were trying to answer, and it appeared like they had been working on that for some time. They're just going over this basic concept of buoyancy, and she tried to apply that through her discussion on things that actually happened in real life, and it's definitely a justifiable question. How's this big boat that's made of steel floating on the water? So some of the students did a really good job, and it was interesting to hear their opinions and what they thought about buoyancy and how those concepts relate to things in real life. She asked them about how does this how do you see this concept? Is there something familiar in your environment here that you could discuss? Really enjoyed that one. Then they had a project that they didn't do during the class, but they did group teaching. So it looked like there was about 3 to 4 students per group, and they had a concept that they worked on, and then they would rotate teaching a part of the concept. So literally had some good quiet time where they reflected and learned and did some reading and did some experimentation on their own, and then they had some time to reflect and talk about it amongst each other. Then the next class, the final one that I'd like to talk about was the instructor where all he did was lecture the entire time. Of course, it could be a little bit of poor audio, poor video quality, but I think it was just the teacher needed to bring a little bit more enthusiasm to the lesson. So I understand being thorough and being patient with knowledge as you're trying to transfer it to students, but I think that you need to try to do something with, look like, I would assume, like a 6th, 7th grade type history class. And I just don't feel like you're going to be able to transfer much knowledge in an hour-long lecture at that age level. There's just too many other things that you can do. Even Socratic discussion where you ask the students questions and ask them their opinion on the material, it just didn't happen. So he literally lectured the entire time. I didn't hear a student speak the entire class, and I had a hard time with that in college. So I really have a hard time believing that those middle school social studies students really got a lot out of that lecture. Of course, there's always going to be a couple of students that are going to get what they need no matter what, but you're not going to hit a productive learning, cooperative learning type environment with that type of style at the adolescent age. So that was my big 3 takeaways I wanted to explain. And that's all I have. Thank you.